Chapter 11. How to prepare effective graphs. A well-prepared illustration can help the scholar to be heard when speaking, to be read when writing. It can push information sharing with other scholars. It can help to convince granting agencies to fund the research. It can also inform the public of the work value. When not to use graphs. In the previous chapter, we discussed certain types of data that should not be tabulated. They should not be turned into graphs either. Basically, graphs are pictorial tables. Certain types of data, particularly the sparse type or the type that is monotonously repetitive, do not need to be brought together in either a table or a graph. The facts are still the same. Preparing and printing an illustration can be time-consuming and expensive. And you should consider illustrating your data only if the result is a real service to the reader. This point bears repeating because many authors, especially those who are still beginners, think that a table, graph, or chart somehow adds importance to the data. Thus, in the search for credibility, there is a tendency to convert a few data elements into an impressive-looking graph or table. Don't do it. Your more experienced peers and most journal editors will not be fooled. They will soon deduce that 3 of the 4 curves in your graph are simply the standard conditions, and that the milling of the 4th curve could have been stated in just a few words. Attempts to dress up scientific data are usually doomed to failure. If there is only one curve on the proposed graph, can you describe it in words? Possibly, only one value is really meaningful, either a maximum or a minimum. The rest is window dressing. If you determine, for example, that the optimum pH value for a particular reaction was pH 8.1, it would probably be sufficient to state something like maximum yield was obtained at pH 8.1. If you determine that maximum growth of an organism occurred at 37 centigrade degree, a simple statement to that effect is better economics and better science than a graph showing the same thing. If the choice is not graph versus text, but graph versus table, your choice might relate to whether you want to impart to readers exact numeric values or simply a picture of the trend or shape of the data. Really, there might be a reason to present the same data in both a table and a graph. The first presenting the exact values and the second showing a trend not otherwise apparent. Most editors would resist this obvious redundancy. However, unless the reason for it was compelling. An example of an unneeded bar graph is shown in Figure 17.1. This figure could be replaced by one sentence in the text. Among the test group of 56 patients who were hospitalized for an average of 14 days, 6 acquired infections. When is a graph justified? There are no clear rules, but let us examine some indications for their effective use.